Sailing south to the bottom of the earth, you really feel as if you've left the world as we know it and entered some separate reality. The Antarctic Peninsula is a gigantic playground, but a dangerous one. Respect down here is everything. You have to know when to run away, when to hide, and when to call it a day. I first came to Antarctica last year, and what I saw down there blew my mind. I kind of pride myself on being knowledgeable about mountains in the world and good places to ski, and I've been fortunate to travel to tons of these places. But when I arrived on the Antarctic Peninsula and saw what was there and realized that I hadn't known how good the mountains were, I saw that and said, you know what, I got to come back. I got to come back with a small boat and a specialized crew of friends and make a documentary film about this place and share it with the world, because if I don't know how great these mountains are, chances are there's a lot of other people out there that don't know how great those mountains are. Selecting the team for this mission to Antarctica was pretty easy. When it came to doing a ski mountaineering trip, Stian Hagen has long been one of my best partners. He and I have traveled around the world together in search of beautiful peaks to ski. His wife Andrea was also a natural because, one, she's a pro skier who in her own right is very well respected, and also we thought it would be great to have some female energy along on the trip just to round out the group.
What's going to happen is a low to the west, and that's forming and strengthening, and we're going to try and run down below it before it rolls over the top of us. We will get whacked by the front edge of it, but we're going to get whacked somewhere along the line, so may as well get it over and done with. And then
It seems to be coming together. We've been, since last February is when GVD and I first sat down in Jackson Hole and discussed this trip, and we just shoved off. We're heading to Antarctica. It's our third full day out at sea, crossing the Drake Passage from Tierra del Fuego down to Antarctica. First 2 days we had pretty rough seas. The Drake shake, we were getting bounced around pretty good. A few people got sick, including myself. But things have calmed down, and now we've got a nice northwesterly, so the seas are following the boat, and we're kind of surfing these swells down towards the peninsula. Just cruised south through the Lemaire Channel, and we're headed just down here around this buttress, which is called the Duesenberg Buttress. We're just below Mount Scott right now, still kind of in warm-up mode. It's early in the trip, not getting too crazy, but we're seeing lots of nice things to ski.
Going out skiing with Chris, it feels that he's really confident in the mountains, and you know, he's fit, he knows what he wants, he knows how to get it. It's one of those guys who you're not worried about him making a mistake.
Stian said, you know, Chris is sending me an email asking if you'd be interested, and I was like, really? And yeah, pretty much from that moment on, I did everything I could just to try to make it happen.
I feel, you know, both Chris and I have a lot more experience with ski mountaineering than Andrea does. You know, Andrea's a very good skier and very confident when she's got her skis on, but she doesn't have as much experience as Chris and I do.
I'm kind of aware of that fact and knowing, you know, I'm not quite at that level where they're at.
We've spent a lot of time before we left, you know, talking about these things and practicing as much as we can. And, you know, we've been training hard to be fit for this trip. You know, I definitely feel a big responsibility to keep Andrea safe here, and I'm more kind of worried about her than I am about myself.
It was definitely a little intimidating at the start, knowing that I'd be hanging out with them and just, yeah, with their level of experience. So, but so far so good.
And then, of course, you've got the wildlife. So there's whales and seals and dolphins and, of course, the ubiquitous penguins everywhere.
I've seen penguins before in Australia, but just to see so many of them and all over the place was just really, really amazing. I don't know, they're just a very interesting, odd bird, really. I like how they've only got one partner in their life.
Well, you don't know that for sure.
I'm pretty sure.
Well, you know, they might slip sometimes too. You never know. You know, like they might go to a penguin party and there's another cute penguin and then shit happens.
Talking about a dude, looks like a guy they knew back in Ohio. Tara smiles, she hands a beer. Not working tonight, but she's helping out at the bar. You're looking lost, my friend. Sit down.
Every day.
All right, he's just like right in front of us.
I haven't seen many whales before. Actually, I don't think I've ever seen one before, and it was just really, really cool to see all the minke whales swimming under the boat and just getting, you know, being able to interact with them so closely. It was really something I'll never forget.
There's a lot of sea life in Antarctica, but what's a little less obvious are the predators down there. While we were up on the Duesberg buttress getting ready to ski, Jim was shooting the long lens across the channel, so he was situated right at the edge of the water. And along came a leopard seal, and it started chasing a penguin. The kill happened underwater, but the seal proceeded to shred the penguin right in front of the camera. And so when you ski an amazing run and you come down to the water and you're waiting to get in the Zodiac and go to the ship, and a whale comes by and blows and the penguins swim up and it's a gorgeous day and there's just blue, gorgeous ice everywhere, it's overwhelming.
Duisburg, when I first saw it, I didn't think it would be as gnarly as it was. It was quite an intimidating run for me, especially the climb up, because I wasn't roped up, I was just climbing behind the boys, and there were some moments where you definitely didn't want to fall or miss a step. It really tested all the skills that I've been able to develop over the last 10 years. I've put them all really to the test.
Oh my God, this is awesome! Yeah! Oh my God, this is freaking cool!
I was incredibly nervous at the top, and I was able to kind of channel that energy and visualise my run and visualise it safely all the way down to the ocean floor. And I think that really helped because I was able to calm my nerves, because it's kind of critical not to lose it when you're standing on top of a pretty exposed line like that. You've really got to keep everything together.
I wasn't really thinking we were going to be skiing, you know, like bulletproof, 50, 55 degrees slopes over huge exposure where, you know, like your fall will be fatal.
Good one. Nice one, man.
It was a great feeling when we got down to the bottom. It just felt awesome just to, ski something like that. And I really liked that rush when it was all over. And I just felt more secure about what we were doing and the runs that we were going to go and ski. I just felt a lot more confident that, I can do this. I'm solid on my skis, and it's possible.
We are rolling into Paradise Harbor right now, and it is unbelievable. It's surrounded by amazing, amazing mountains. It's like my kids waking up at Christmas morning, just like, look at all of this.
It was a great feeling when we got down to the bottom. It just felt awesome just to, ski something like that. And I really liked that rush when it was all over. And I just felt more secure about what we were doing and the runs that we were going to go and ski. I just felt a lot more confident that, I can do this. I'm solid on my skis, and it's possible.
We are rolling into Paradise Harbor right now, and it is unbelievable. It's surrounded by amazing, amazing mountains. It's like my kids waking up at Christmas morning, just like, look at all of this. find the perfect line. That's what we're searching for.
And then, as if the trip was sort of scripted, which it wasn't, this line that just sort of appeared. It's like the Holy Grail.
This peak kind of showed up in the distance that we call the Sphinx because it looks so much like this line in Alaska that we all have grown to love, and it's just a beautiful line. And we looked at this and we were like, I wonder if we can get on this.
I can guarantee it's pretty steep.
Yeah?
It's about as steep as it gets.
As steep as it gets.
At first, you have no idea if you can do it or not, because from that distance, you have no idea if there's a landing or if there was a huge cliff at the bottom or whatever. But it's the closer we got, the more obvious it became that it was going to be possible. What we spotted is pretty much the most beautiful line we've seen. Definitely the most beautiful line we've seen on this trip, and maybe one of the better lines I've seen anywhere.
Get the heart going on this one for sure. It's looks really cool. Could be really steep though, so a little nervous, a little like pre-ski nerves. So I guess the consequence would be falling, because if you fall on it, you're probably not going to stop. You're going to slide all the way to the bottom and launch off the ice shelf into the ocean. So that's the consequence. Nobody wants to do that. But
I was hoping you'd be able to tell me it was a little flatter than what I thought it was.
This thing's overrated. I bet it's 35 degrees, nice and corn, no problem.
To get up onto the mountain itself, you know, there's a big ice shelf. There's the glacier there. And so we actually had to climb some pretty steep ice with 2 tools and crampons and a rope, and I had to climb up this sort of diagonal ramp that was a little bit of a break in the seracs in the ice or the ice shelf at the bottom. And it was really warm, mushy, wet snow, and it was sort of sloughing away on me, and I'm trying to get some purchase and like using different hand positions on my axes in there, and crampons are sort of sinking, and it's like you're using full body English to like work up this thing, and managed to kind of get up it. And at one point there was just sort of this big slough that kind of dropped away, and I'm thinking, man, is this whole slope just gonna drop me onto the beach?
Start kind of gradually, a few small rocks came down, and you know, like they were coming really slow. It didn't seem too bad. Went a little bit higher, the rocks kind of got a little bit bigger, came down a little bit faster.
Stian was starting to feel a little nervous then, and starting to question what we were doing, and it's getting late in the day. What are we doing out here? This doesn't feel good.
At one point, Stian kind of made a dash across the face to what he thought was a safe zone, sort of out of the fall line of the upper mountain.
You know, as I was climbing across, it just seems like it all of a sudden got way worse than it was before. Really big rocks started coming down, and they were the kind of size that could definitely knock you out or potentially even kill you.
Andrea and I were over on this ridge, like spotting him, just keeping eyes on him, and he gets over there, and this really big rock whizzes right past his head. Get your shit on and get out of there!
Have you got your both skis on?
Hey, little one. Yeah, you're clear.
Hey.
Dude, good job.
Good job.
That was fucking gnarly.
Fucking gnarly.
You had a couple good ones come down there.
That's the one with the one thing about the beauties. Hard to turn around.
Well,
all right, let's make it down, not a beer alive. Whew.
Work team, way to go, way to be safe. On the face.
It got a little scary.
yeah, that was a little bit pushing the envelope a little bit.
How was it over
Got
there,
some
Stian?
really good turns.
Yeah, I've been in better places. Got a little blinded by the beauty of the line. Should have turned around a little earlier.
You've really got to respect the mountains when they're telling you something like that, you're not better than them.
Have a date with the swings again. We got shut down by too warm conditions and rockfall last time, and the last couple of days we've had a bit of snow, probably, not sure, but maybe 20 centimeters of snow, some strong wind. Climb up this couloir on the side, get up to the top and have a look. We'll see. Worst case we'll come back down this way, but we all really want this line, so we're gonna give it a good push.
Not afraid to say that I'm a little nervous, but I'm confident. I think it's going to be fine. But anytime you're skiing something where if you make a mistake, you're instantly going to the bottom, it always gets your heart going. Hey guys, have fun, have fun.
All right, second. All right, center. Nice one! Oh yeah! Hey, drop it!
Ending with a peak like the Sphinx, it feels like it was meant to be.
Just being able to get back there and then ski from the summit was, you know, a really cool experience, because it felt like we got turned back, might not get it, and then somehow we got another sunny day and got back to complete it.
it's definitely a trip I'll never forget. There's just so much to ski and so much to do. We barely scratch the surface of what can be done down there.
Trash can gold never seemed to rise above the din of countless neon nights. She's talking through the broken rattles of a foreign kind of blinding light. She's bound to go